welcome again to another episode of Astronomy Spotlight. I'm Kirk Rosberg, the planetarium coordinator here at the Hastings Museum. And this episode is all about the total lunar eclipse of May 15th. But before we get into that, I do want to apologize for having no April episode. We got very busy with school shows. Schools are booking a lot of our time slots, so we've just been very busy. But now we're getting a little bit easier to do these things. So let's talk about eclipses first. Of course, you're familiar with solar eclipses. Solar eclipses occur when the moon goes in between the Earth and the sun, blocking out the sun's light, as you can see here in this total solar eclipse. Both images, the image and the diagram, are from NASA. So that is a solar eclipse. Now, a total lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth actually goes in between the sun and the moon, blocking out most of the moon's light. Of course, the moon shines by reflected light from the sun. So when we experience a total lunar eclipse, most of the time we see what you're seeing here, kind of a copper red color, which mostly the media refer to as a blood moon. But it actually has a lot more to do with the fact that all of the Earth's sunrises and sunsets are filtering through and being reflected back onto the moon. And that is what we see as the blood moon. So this eclipse begins May 15th. It starts at about 9:28 p.m. That is when the partial eclipse phases begin. And right now it looks like we are just about to start the partial eclipse here in our sky, in our planetarium sky. I'm going to go forward in time here a little bit faster. And as we can see, all right, so we've got the eclipse going. And we're going to speed things up just a little bit. Total eclipse actually begins at about 10:29 p.m. So we're going to go a little bit further here. And as we watch the Earth's shadow making its way across the moon in our zoomed in view. You are going to want a clear, flat view of the southeastern horizon, because when the full moon rises right after sunset, it's going to be low in the southeastern sky. So look in the southeast, low in the sky, for the full moon. And so the partial phase begins at 9:28. The full total lunar eclipse, as we see here, will begin at 10:29 p.m. And maximum eclipse, which is the deepest part of the lunar eclipse, will occur at 11:11 p.m. All right, so let's go further here. That's about where we are roughly now in the sky. The total lunar eclipse ends officially at 11:54 p.m. So this is a fairly long eclipse. As we go forward here, whoop, there we go. All right, so eclipse ends at 11:54. The total phase ending at 11:54. And so then, of course, the cycle repeats in reverse as we kind of come back into light. And the partial eclipse phase ends. This would be Monday. We start out Sunday, May 15th. We actually go a little bit into Monday, May 16th. And the partial phase ends at 12:55 a.m. So you'll have to stay up a little bit late for this particular eclipse. But that happens quite a bit with lunar eclipses. All right, so here we go. So as this is happening, once again, let me remind you of the times. Partial phase begins at 9:28, not too long after it rises in the southeast. Then the total eclipse begins at 10:29 p.m. 10:29 p.m. Maximum eclipse or mid-eclipse is at 11:11 p.m. and the total eclipse ends at 11:54 p.m. And then the partial phase of the eclipse ends, which is what you're seeing right here now, at 12:55 a.m., officially early Monday morning. So that concludes the May episode of Astronomy Spotlight. Join me again next month in June. We will have a special episode on the planets, and you'll have to come back then to see what that is all about. But in the meantime, enjoy the total lunar eclipse on May 15th.